Mbeumo to Manchester United will soon be a go as Brentford have finally handpicked his replacement. Manchester United was offered a striker I spoke about here, but do they want him? Do they even have time to listen to anything like that? As United are focused on so many other things, including a former player who is now taking us to court for what he called negligent advice. Like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment and drop your opinion about the current situation when it comes to how we seem to be shaping up for the new season. I would want to hear you and what you feel, because certain people are not happy about the fact that Man United is doing good with the young players but nearly nothing with the seniors. Well, it's not nothing, I must tell you, because I'm going to break down for you what's going on currently in terms of the news you want to hear, which we all know. It's about Mbeumo and his progress. Now, before that, guys, have you learned how to earn online? What are you waiting for? The world is learning. People are earning. Those who already know are earning. If you're not earning, you're lagging behind, but it's never too late to learn something that's going to change your life. Anytime is learning time. Come anytime. I teach day and night from whichever part of the world you are. Don't you worry about your time zone. Let that be my problem. I will fix it. We shall agree on that appointment with you, and we shall learn how to make money online. Starting next month, I will be teaching only 5 people a day. Yeah, because it's getting busier. It's getting. I'm getting into a lot of things. But I'll be teaching just 5 people a day for double the amount it is just now. I just need 5 people because I only have 5 hours for teaching. So that will be starting next month. For this month, we're still going with the drill. But let's get into what's going on at Manchester United. Should I start with the good or the bad news? Well, I promised that this is a positive year, so I'll always start with the good news. Here is the good news. Guess what? Brentford are almost, I think, becoming convinced now that Man United will indeed take their player, as they have already put in place a possible replacement for Bumo should he join Manchester United. And it's none other than a player Patrick Dogu will never forget probably in his career, because this is the player who got him his first red card in Manchester United. That is Omar Hutchinson. You do recall the Ipswich kid who Patrick Dogu did injure in, should have been one of his first games in the Premier League, I think. He injured him and he got a red card. Now, that's the boy. He's 21 years of age, an English international, plays for Ipswich, is an attacking midfielder or winger. Certainly not quite or anywhere like Mbeumo, but Brentford are said to view him as a perfect replacement for Bumo. That should mean one thing for Man United, that something is going on. This is the week I told you things should be progressing naturally. Really, they should be progressing in a way, whether to nowhere or to him ending up at Man United. There should be some bit of progress, and this indeed for me is significant progress that Fabrizio, the king himself, has confirmed that indeed Omar Hutchinson is the guy they are pointing out to be the replacement for Bumo, who is nearly bound for Manchester United. It's a matter of time until that happens. So we'll wait for more out of those talks that have been going on for longer than necessary. But that's where we are. We've got to live with it now. Away from Bumo, Fabrice again confirmed something I spoke about here for quite some time about Dusan Vlahovic being offered to Manchester United. He's got a year left on his contract. There is no plan for both parties to renew their marriage. Vlahovic does not want to be part of the Juventus project. At some point, it looked like Juventus wanted to offer him a new contract, and it's him who didn't want. But it seems the feeling is mutual as it is now. He does not want to stay there. Vlahovic, 25, is seen as a guy who probably, with Man United's lack of goals, could be a proper fit, especially being that he would come cheap. But for now, United's concentration and focus is on everything else but a striker. They are now still trying to sort Mbeumo. They've got the goalkeeping department that's becoming a problem as well. There's another goalkeeper who was mentioned. I'll talk about all the goalkeepers Man United are linked with probably in my next video. But Vlahovic and his being offered to Man United is still there. So just take note of that. Now, the bad news, or the other good news, is that a former Man United player, I don't know whether Fletcher is a legend, he makes for one. I don't know how you look at it, how you view him. He was part of a legendary squad of Man United. But I think somehow all players who played under Sir Alex Ferguson are viewed as legends in a way. But anyway, Fletcher has been confirmed as the new under 18 head coach, under 18 coach of the Man United team. And that might sound as something small because he was a sort of a director of a technical director at some point. But I'll tell you, in this project that Man United is working on, being coach of the under 18 is an honor. It's a big, big honor. He's a very important guy because most of the kids he's handling are the kids who are going to be used in the rebuild and sent into the senior team, promoted and stuff. So if they have trusted you to be the one taking charge of these kids, including his own, he's got twins playing for Manchester United. But you being the man trusted in this time by Ineos to be the one heading them shows you're good at whatever you're doing. And I like that they are trying to, I think, keep the tradition of the club, the legends of the club, the former players of the club, let me put it like that, Johnny Evans and the likes. So I think it's good to see what Ineos are trying to do to maintain the identity of Man United, who keep, I think, giving opportunities to their own. I think it's a good thing to see. But Fletcher is getting an important role for himself because he's going to be handling crucial, fragile players for the club. So is Johnny Evans. Certainly they'll be working hand in hand as they get players from the under 18 and decide who is loaned where and then who is brought back into the team and promoted into the senior team. It's interesting. I think it's a beautiful mix to be a part of, especially if you're a player and now you're still now running things for the players. I feel like it's a gratifying job that Evans and Darren Fletcher are getting. Now, the sad news, speaking of academy and Man United's players, now, this is a former academy player. Like, this is indeed, in every sense of the word, a proper Manchester United player. We're talking a kid who joined Man United in 2015, the senior team, up to 2023. But before that, from 2006, when he was 8, Axel Tuenzebe, or Tuanzebe, depending on which part of the world you come from, he was groomed, nurtured, and molded at Man United. He was programmed into a footballer by Man United. Everything Man United from 2006 up until 2023 when he left. This boy, Man United, his blood is indeed red like Man United, like it's supposed to be. But this boy is not happy with the club as he is reportedly suing us. In fact, he did sue Manchester United. When I say us, I like, when I'm here, I want to use such us and us because I'm here as a Man United supporter. So he's suing the club because of what they called negligent advice when he was injured way back in 2022. He got an injury. He was out for about 195 days. He says the club did not handle that well. This player, captain Man United, was such a promise. He was such a leader, such a character, such a personality as a defender. Captain Man United at nearly all levels. I think from all junior levels, all through the ranks. Up until the senior team, he should have captained the team in some friendly or some small game. Played the Europa final, which we lost in penalties, if you recall. This boy is now suing the club for £1 million because of negligent advice when he was injured. Now, for me, I do not know what the details are, what exactly happened. They did not comment to give details on it. This boy has, since he left Man United, even in between, when he was still at Man United, in between those years he speaks of, he was loaned to all forms of clubs, from Aston Villa to Napoli, Stoke City, Ipswich. Then Ipswich, of course, took him as a free agent, and then joins Burnley, I think like a month ago. He joined Burnley. But he's now going back to 2022 and he's suing Man United for what he called negligent advice. At that time, he was playing for, should be Napoli or Aston Villa, one of the two, because he played for Napoli and Aston Villa in 2022. So whichever period he's talking of. So this boy is saying they gave him wrong advice. I think that did not help his injury. But he went on to play until today. He's playing. It's confusing though. But yeah, Tuenzebe is not happy and he's suing the club. But for me, whatever it is, it just for me gives us a biting expose of the incompetence at this club. I mean, especially back then before Ineos came to try and clean it up. You ask yourself a question, was anything ever really functional at this club when these Glazers were in charge? Was anything ever functional? Because we know, you remember what Luke Shaw said at some point when Ten Hag was still there, with his injury. You remember how Tyrell Malacia refused to be handled by the Man United doctors, only for him to go to the lands, and then he had to get a double surgery operation because of setbacks. So the thing is, even the players don't seem to trust the the doctors they were working with, they didn't seem to trust the doctors back then. We talk of Phil Jones, whose career went there, disappeared in ether because of injuries. Was anything really ever functional in the past regime of Man United? Anyway, we won't live in the past. Tuenzebe, whatever is going on with him and Man United, well, let's hope it's all done and dusted and does not cost Man United, of course, a season. But that's where we are. Quick wrap up of what's going on at United. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. And later on, perhaps I will be here again to give you breaking news that Brian Mbeumo is done. That's the breaking news I would want to give you. I hope that's the case. If not, anytime you see me, trust you me, it will be good news. The best news for me, though, will be if all of you have understood how the internet pays. I think it will be the most gratifying thing for me, because all of us will be here, you're watching me, and we're all, benefiting from somewhere on the internet. I think it will be good for all of us, because the internet can pay all of us. No single person can exhaust all the money there is to fetch or to harvest on the internet. I'm waiting for you if you haven't learned how to do it. Cheers.